Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, or has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me, no. Dying don't agree with me, no. All you board ghosts, come with me, we're going home.
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is a continuation of our game of Fiasco, the playset Science Comics by Nick Wendig. To find out how we've generated the story, the gaming that we use to create this tale, check out the rules supplement for Fiasco on our website. Now, player-wise, we have Steve Moverley.
Hello. My character's name is Roger Stevenson, a dental-themed vampire hunter whose heyday was in the 70s, now turned supervillain, still hunting vampires, but vampires are now a protected species. So he finds himself on the wrong side of the law. My hero name is the Incisor, and that puts me in a villainous relationship with John's character, who is a similarly themed villain, and we are fighting for the use of the same name. And we have a shared need to get even with the whole damn world.
So my character is the Incisor. Doctor Victor Duplinious, 17. He is one of the many clones of the late mad Doctor Victor Duplinious, the original, the source. He lives in Mrs. Duplinious, the widow Duplinius's basement, his mother's basement, and he styles himself a dental themed villain. He wears a giant incisor costume and generally tries to thwart the machinations of the other incisor and prove himself to the villain world that he is not a D-list villain. His sister, fellow clone, and he share a need to get respect from the villainous organization Glove, who has classified their creator and their sort of father as a D-list class villain, and so they've been saddled with the same classification as villains.
Yes, and I play the character Dr. Victoria Duplinious, number 5. She herself is someone who, instead of doing the route that her brother is doing, which is to, make his own way as try to become a supervillain, she's decided she's going to work through the bureaucracy. And so she was able to get herself into the Glove mentorship program. And she has now been partnered up with Josh's character.
Yes, Dr. Moreau, Dr. Marcel Moreau, a former hero who used to fight side by side with the original Incisor, has now fallen into work as a minion for Dr. Yes of the Yes Corporation, one of the fingers of Glove, and has now seen an opportunity perhaps to get back into the hero business with his new charge. Perhaps one of these Duplinious clones can go good.
And we've also added 2 tilts to the table going into Act 2. Failure, a stupid plan executed to perfection, and Paranoia. 2 people cross paths and everything changes. All right, so Steve, you are up with our first scene.
So it's late at night outside of the headquarters of the Yes Corporation. Roger Stevens, dressed in his stealth dental gear, is trying to make his way up the side of the Yes Corporation building. His goal is to find Moreau's secret lab within the building because he's decided he needs the weather device for himself. He climbs up the building, cuts through a glass.
He's like the little with a pick.
yeah, it's a little dental pick. Starts skulking through the hallways. Luckily, he happens to find a handy "You Are Here" map on the side of the building. on the side of the hallway that clearly points out the location of Moreau's lab, so he stealthily makes his way there. And he suddenly realizes that on the other side of the door, the lights are on, and he hears voices. He hears a female voice and a fairly familiar male voice talking.
So here's the plan. A device like this, the minute one of these villains hears about its existence, they're going to try to get their hands on it. They're going to try to threaten the world. They're going to use it.
At that point, the door kicks open. Moreau, I need the device!
Incisor! I told you, you need to stop this silliness.
No, the vampires. Moreau, just give me the device. I'll give it back, I swear. Once all the vampires are dead.
How are you going to use a weather device against vampires?
We'll just make it permanently sunny all the time. It can't possibly go wrong.
That is kind of funny. Well, I suppose you'll have to fight me for it.
But old friend, I can't bring myself to harm you.
Well,
Just can't you see reason? Can't you see reason, man?
I think that's where we make our choice.
I think it goes badly for Roger.
Oh!
How does that manifest?
Victoria does a high, shrill whistle, and around the corner come a pack of Rottweilers with lasers.
Good God! Laser Rottweilers! You look strangely familiar, by the way. And then I run away. I run to the window, take a flying leap at it. The glass breaks, and a tooth-shaped hang glider sprouts from my back as I glide into the night.
I see he's not the only one who uses the tooth motif.
And I just shake my head. I said, we could have let him have it, but I think it would be more to our advantage for Dr. Yes to get the device.
I think you should plan a little bit more about how you want this device to be used, sir.
Oh, we're gonna put some fail safes in there. It'll never actually work.
All right, as long as we put the correct fail safes. You realize a lot of people will try tinkering with this. I do trust you, sir.
Perhaps it's a stupid plan, but I think it'll work.
Okay.
In his mother's basement, the creator's wife's basement, Victor Duplinious 17 is selling all of his stocks in his diversified portfolio and buying stocks in dentures. And he also puts in an order for a dozen more dental mirrors to go with the 10 boxes that he already has, sets the sonic extractor, the laser extractor, into an amplification bed and says to himself, where should I start? Mom?
Yes, dear?
Where would you go? Where are a lot of people? Where are the most people?
Well, dear, there's quite a few people all throughout. I would say maybe Times Square, New York City.
Thanks, Mom. I'm going to borrow the Victor slide.
That's fine, dear, but again, remember to gas it up. You didn't last time.
No, not the sled, Mom, the slide.
Oh, the slide. Oh, well, we haven't had that out in years. It really needs to be dusted off.
It's fine. So I go and get in the neutrino slide, and I start pushing all my boxes through it, and I slide through it and appear out on the other side on top of a building in Times Square and start setting up my mirrors. And that's when I get a call from Roger Stevenson, the incisor. And I'm in the midst of setting up my mirrors and muttering to myself about, like, they'll never laugh at me again. And if they do, their teeth may fall out.
Ring, ring.
Hello? Wait, Roger Stevenson?
That's right, Toothy.
It's incisor to you, not incisor.
Listen, I think we need to work something out. We're wasting too much of our energy trying to compete against each other. I think we need to team up. I think if you help me with my goal of defeating all the vampires in the world, you might finally get that respect that you're looking for.
And would you also let me call myself the incisor? If I helped you? Because I've got an idea.
Yes, fine. If that's the price to pay for dealing with all the vampires in the world, then yes, you can be called the Incisor.
All right.
I shall be known as the bicuspid.
I mean, that's pretty good. We could probably kill Molar, and you could take his name, too.
Maybe we should team up with Molar. Maybe we could find a whole evil team of toothy people.
He's more into the roughage.
Oh, true.
Your minions could be baby teeth.
The milk teeth.
The milk teeth.
So, here's the thing. Vampires, what do they use? A lot.
Their fangs?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's exactly what I was getting at. That's right. I didn't mean something else. Yeah, their fangs. Huh. I guess if there was a way to remove all their fangs from all the vampires all over, they'd probably go hungry.
That's brilliant.
If only I had such a device. Listen, here's what I'm working on right now.
Hmm?
I've got a thing. I want to make a lot of money in the denture market.
Oh. Wait.
I've got a device that removes everyone's teeth.
Wait, can we fine-tune this device so it only removes certain teeth?
That sounds like a waste of time. But maybe, come on, meet me in Times Square. I'll send you a slide tube. And I punch in a slide tube thing, and a little portal opens up near you.
I get through the portal.
You step through, and you fall like 5 feet to the, the roof.
God!
Welcome, not incisor. Observe my mirrors, my dental mirrors. Here's the deal. Help me set these up around the world, and then we can amplify this puppy, and we'll get rid of all the teeth.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Listen, I think we're going to need some more funds, though, to get this venture rolling. You wouldn't happen to know where we could get some money? And I think that'll be our point.
Yeah.
Positively.
Okay.
Let's have a positive.
So it's going good.
That's going to go good for you.
Didn't you steal a bunch of money from those vampire children?
No, Incisor, that wasn't me. It wasn't me that stole the money, but it was Dr. Yes? Mm-hmm. But it was Dr. Yes.
We can't get on his bad side right now. I'm thinking, maybe we go back to Stockholm. Maybe they'll have another rave.
Let's check. I believe a new charity rave has been scheduled to make more money for the last run.
Those silly vampires, always stuck in the past.
They'll
Raves are
never
so
learn.
1995.
They'll never learn.
That's true. Well, we'll teach them. Let's go. So we punch in. We go, let's go back to my mom's house. I've got some stuff we could use. And so we slide back to my basement. That's my scene.
Honey, is your friend staying for dinner?
Mom, you're embarrassing me. He's not my friend. He's my enemy, not the incisor. We have a truce. Yes, can we have some of your meatloaf?
Certainly, honey. I'll take some out of the freezer.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Mrs. Not the Incisor.
All right, so Victoria is in the lab, I guess disassembling the weather machine for transport, and she looks up to see Dr. Moreau come in. Doctor, I've got it almost all packed up. I'm still not sure what you want to do with it after we've got it secured.
Well, we'll present it to Dr. Yes, and either he'll use it or he'll sell it to somebody else who will. And only we know how to stop it. And then we will be heroes.
I see. All right. Now this is all so much more clear for me. So as long as we are able to prevent this from doing whatever heinous plan, as long as we can prevent that, then we can be the heroes.
Being a hero is not too hard. It just takes smarts and doing the right thing.
I think I could get used to this hero business. So where do you want to present? When do you want to present it to him?
If the machine is ready to roll, I'll head on up there now. He'll be enthusiastic as always.
Alrighty. So she finishes putting the stuff together in the boxes and starts to take it up to where Dr. Yes is. Does it go good or bad for her?
Let's go good.
Okay.
Because then we're almost out of all good things.
Then it'll get really interesting. All right, so she brings it up to, does he have an audience chamber? Or does he have like a big desk?
I think it's just like a giant, like a Zen garden.
A Zen garden, okay. So she comes up carrying these 2 big wooden boxes. Just as Dr. Moreau says, "I have a surprise for you, Dr. Yes." She puts the boxes down and slowly opens up the containers and stands back to let him explain what we've got.
Sure. Dr. Yes, you remember the old weather device, Dr. Thunder, the big thing that happened back in the 90s? Yeah. I've been working on it in secret. I apologize. I wanted to surprise you. I made some modifications using some of my animal knowledge, and it seems to be working fine. I thought perhaps you could put it to good use or reach out to Glove and see if there's somebody who might be interested in purchasing it. Dr. Yes says, "Wow, that's fantastic. I can't believe you took that kind of initiative. You might just be more than a minion one day. Good job." So we turn over the weather machine and we head back to the lab to discuss our hero names and costumes.
Next steps. I'm so excited. But how are we going to track the machine to know where it's going to go?
Oh, well, we've got a computer that does that. The minute we hear, I'll tell you, this is what they always do with the weather machines. They take a government hostage, the world hostage, turn over the money, or we make it rain for 21 days, or we make it snow forever. We'll know when it's happening.
Okay.
And then at just flip of my cell phone, I got a little program put together there. Turn that thing off. We really just need to show up, have really awesome costumes, and save the day. We'll make it look like we saved the day. I mean, we're going to press a button. That's just how scientists do it.
Well, have you figured out what your name's going to be, sir?
I am.
I feel like the psychic name should be based off of yours.
Oh, I'm just a mere doctor. I've never really. I mean, I've always gone by Dr. Moreau, but it's always been me. I don't know. Something of science, perhaps.
I always liked alliteration and something girl scientist.
Girl scientist. I like that.
Maybe we'll start to work on those.
Yeah. They just continue to throw around ideas of dreams of herodom.
All right. Should this go well or poorly?
This goes poorly.
Dr. Yes has bugged every room in the corporation, and he clearly knows what's going on. And he just sort of sighs. He's going to let them go through with the plan, but he's going to disable the fail-safes, but he's going to allow them to go out there and make asses of themselves.
It begins where it ends. Outside a rave in Stockholm. Or it ends where it begins. It ends where it begins. Outside of a rave in Stockholm.
But it did begin where it ends. If it ends where it begins, it also begins where it ends.
That's true, too.
It's like night, frozen, like land. There's like a shadow of an elk by a tree just grazing on like some brush, and then the tree catches on fire from a laser from the elk. And you just hear like from inside this warehousey building off in the distance.
All right. Incisor.
It sounds good to have you say that.
I've changed my costume slightly there used to be a giant eye on the front of my leather dental scrubs, but you can still see the stitching. It's now a B, but you can still see the stitching of the right eye. Because I'm now the bicuspid. You know what? I was thinking another use we might have for those giant mirror systems that you had.
I'm listening.
What if we use them to blast sunshine all over the world to kill all the vampires?
You really hate vampires.
I really do. It's a thing. It's a thing I have, and it's just throwing it out there.
I don't know. Vampires have taken a lot of heat. They're a downtrodden people.
Who sucked the blood from the innocent.
And they just recently got the right to vote. And who's really innocent anyways? I'd say those little vampire children who are going hungry, who stare at the blood bank and eat rats. Those are the real victims.
All right, so we'll table this vampire discussion for later. But, so now we need a way. Have you finished casing the rave?
Yes. It looks like a big boxy building. There's some ravey music inside. I'm sure there's vampires. There's a sign that says that this is the continuation of the rave. The charity to raise money to replace the money that was lost. Charity rave.
Can you get a random phone call from Dr. Yes?
Yeah, so my phone goes off. Hello, busy.
Victor, it's Dr. Yes.
Ooh. Hello, sir.
Would you have any interest in a weapon that provides worldwide coverage?
No, I've got my own device. Thanks, Dr. Yes.
Okay.
So, what was that about?
Dr. Yes has some sort of worldwide coverage device that he was going to provide us, but you know, I've got my
You
mirrors.
already have that covered.
That's what I was saying.
I gotcha. All right. So,
Besides, we'll probably get promoted to gloves, fingers, or at least we'll be on the palm of glove. Let's do this thing. What do you say?
let's go. So I guess, bust in the. No, let's try to keep a low cover.
I made you this vampire costume. It's just like just leather straps that cover our pecs, and like leather speedos, and body glitter.
Okie dokie.
And plastic fangs.
Yeah,
Let's.
that glow.
Well, no one will suspect us as in these outfits.
Well, they will if you talk like that. Repeat after me. Blah, blah.
Blah blah blah.
Good one. Let's do this thing. Blah.
Blah. So we go in to the rave. There's somebody who checks us at the door, asks us,
Do you have any weapons?
blah, no, blah, blah.
Oh, of course. Where could you hide weapons on those skimpy clothings?
Exactly, blah.
Don't worry, I hid some weapons you know where.
So we make our way over. We start scoping out the environment, and we quickly pinpoint the table with the giant sacks of money on it, with literally sacks with money signs on
The
it.
center's a bike lock.
There's
There's a bike lock, like to lock it to the table.
Because they've recognized the folly of just leaving it completely unsecured. Do you know how to pick a lock?
I have my hyper pick, but it's really, I could maybe try this sandblasting water pick.
Give that a go.
All right. It's gonna take a while. Cover me.
I start dancing, trying to distract people with my undulations and twirling glow sticks on strings, and
Saying blah.
saying blah blah blah.
The music's like.
Blah 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 blah.
It's a remix of Night on Bald Mountain. How is this gonna go?
This goes badly.
What does that mean? Maybe your like activity, your heart starts racing and you start sweating,
Should have a heart attack.
or the just like,
And all the glow glitter comes off.
or vampires don't have heartbeats.
Oh, that's right. I start sweating, and people start. I start sweating, and people start going, "Wait a minute, like that's."
He's awfully flush.
Are they serving dinner early?
And everybody sort of like starts to realize that something is amiss. Incisor, I think we're drawing a crowd.
I'm almost done. Hold him off.
So I reach into my secret compartment to grab some whatever weapons I've stored there, which I'm some like laser dental picks. And I'm trying to fend off a bunch of vampires, and it's just not going well. I accidentally
Like the curtains on fire.
accidentally light the curtains on fire.
Cut off your Speedo.
Horrible scar.
They're all like,
now almost completely naked. Now completely naked except for the band of leather that covers my pecs.
multi pass.
Like, we gotta go.
Ah!
So we I guess try to flee we won't get the money.
You guys are almost as bad at being villains as we are at trying to be heroes.
We run through the woods. We're running through the woods. We startle an elk, and like a stray laser like blasts over our heads, singes our hair. I go, I think we lost them. Slow down, Stevenson.
It's really cold.
No kidding. I should have put boots on this costume. So here's the deal. And we see like the warehouse where the rave is on fire in the back. I think the whole money plan isn't going to work out.
No.
But, I mean, why don't we just steal what we need?
What is it that we need?
Well, I was thinking a bunch of reflective surfaces.
But I thought you had a bunch of dental mirrors.
I do, but I needed more.
Okay.
What do you say? Why don't you say we go pay Dr. Yes a visit? Maybe we could use his device.
Let's just get out of the cold.
All right. I'll call an Uber. So I call an Uber, and Victor Duplinious 604 picks us up. Yeah, how can I help you? Because that's what a Stockholmian sounds like. Listen, we need to get to the airport. Sure thing. And he drives us to the airport. We jet, fast forward, little dot on the map, back to D.C. We get on the tube. You're like covering yourself.
Should I
At least grabbed a blanket on the plane or something?
Yeah, you're just wearing
blanket toga.
Bought some shorts or something, or some kind of.
No, you're wearing an airplane blanket
as like a kilt.
Yeah, kilt.
Okay.
And a funny shirt about Swedish meatballs.
Yeah.
Blending.
And your shoes are airplane pillows. All right, let's do this thing. We tap in the code and take the chute down to the sub-basement below the Capitol building, Dr. Yes's lab headquarters, and his other headquarters that are different from the skyscraper ones. Head over to his other Zen garden, which actually happens to be the same Zen garden. He's got science on his side. Hello, Dr. Yes.
Dr. Duplinious, come on in. I thought I might hear from you again.
Hey, Doc. Listen, so you said something about having a thing that we could make use of.
Sure. It's a doomsday device that's been retrofitted, a weather control device. Reaches all over the world.
Are those frozen hamsters? What does this thing do?
Oh, well, you can make it permanent sunshine, you can make it permanent rain, you can make it permanent snow.
Could you coat, like a lot of the places around the world, with ice?
Sure. You need reflective surfaces. No problem.
So, what'll it cost us to make use of this thing?
Well, what are you planning on doing with it?
Well, retirement village.
Well, why don't we call this one an investment by Glove?
Wow. Really? You sure we won't be owing you something in the future?
Oh, come on. You do something good, we'll come and collect.
All right.
Make use of this opportunity, son. Make something of yourself. Try something exciting.
Are you okay with this, Stevenson? Oh, this is bicuspid. I'm the incisor.
That's great.
I don't see how at this point we really have a choice. If it'll get us the weather control device, if it'll give us a means to an end, we'll need to take it.
It's amazing that you've found a way to work together.
Yes, teamwork. One of the founding principles of Glove.
2 thumbs up.
I never understood why Glove had 2 thumbs, but now I get it. All right, so let's take this puppy in the slide. And I punch in a coordinate, and a portal opens up.
Why couldn't we have just taken that out of Sweden and maybe into like a gap or something so that I could have gotten some pants?
As I step through, I go, because it's highly radioactive. We step onto the roof again in Times Square, and I set the device to ice, reflective ice. How are things going to go?
Yeah, they go well.
Okay. The eels start writhing. The device starts humming because all the hummingbirds that are in it start spinning around. I pull a lever in time to like avoid being scratched by the cougar that's something like inside in this little cage part. One of the frozen hamsters unthaws and starts running on its wheel. And the clouds start to become heavier and weighted in the sky, and the temperature drops. And I go, oh, it's gonna get really cold. We probably should have changed.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
And ice starts to form on buildings and surfaces around the world.
Victoria's in the lab. All of a sudden, this alert goes off, and she gets very excited. It's time! It's time! She runs over to Dr. Moreau's office and knocks on his door. Dr. Moreau!
Yes! Yes!
Dr. Moreau, the alert has gone off. The device is in play.
Excellent. Well, don't call me Dr. Monroe anymore. Now I am Dr. Fury with 2 R's.
Dr. Fury!
I've got your costume right here.
I'm so excited, sir.
It's a panda bear with a laser on its head.
You just hollowed it out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how PETA will feel about that, but it'll keep me warm.
We're the furries.
We're the furries. Dr. Furry.
Dr. Furry and the Yiff.
I am...
Shall we suit up?
Yes! Yes, and I get on my costume is an owl costume
Okay.
with a lab coat.
Good. Okay. So I put on the panda costume, and
I get my smartphone out and I start tracking the device to.
sir, it was seen last, and it seems to be coming from Times Square.
Did you guys go to Times Square or did you?
That's where we stepped out, yeah.
They went, all right, to New York.
To New York. Should we get into the sled?
I think Dr. Yes has a slide.
Oh, well then let's use the slide then.
It is radioactive.
I'm familiar. Luckily our clone's been built in with reduction to radioactivity. So.
Excellent. So we slide into New York so quickly with our costumes, and we find the two of you, Dr. Victor Duplinious and Roger Stevenson, that we currently think are both still the incisor. No surprise, is it, sidekick?
I had hoped my brother wouldn't be involved with this, but if we have to take him down in order to accomplish this, sir, then I'm willing to do it.
All right, well, follow my lead.
Yes, sir. It goes
Well,
negatively,
it's going to go
right?
negatively.
It's gonna go, yeah.
So I can't help myself. It's like, brother, what do you think you're doing?
Hey, I don't remember any pandas in the family. You sound like a girl, though. Which Victoria are you? Are you one of the A class?
I'm Victoria 5, you idiot. How do you not recognize me?
Oh, well, Dad was playing with an A class of animals, like clone animals of himself. You don't remember that? They were hideous. Never perfected them. I just thought, maybe one got right. But, Vicky, what are you doing in that thing, Vicky 5? You smell horrible. I don't know why you'd wear a dead panda around, but it looks really warm. Do you have another one?
Maybe 2. Do you have 2 more?
It might not smell good, but luckily I have a cold, so I haven't noticed. Brother, I've come to take you down.
Oh, Vicky 5. Unfortunately, I'm at my highest most peak. Nothing could stop me now. Don't you see my devices? I've got a lot of them. There's some mirrors, some ice, this weather monster thing with a bunch of animals in it. And what are you going to use? Your laser?
I have more that we can use than that. Please, sir, may I?
You turn to me, and I'm surrounded by tourists who are trying to take their picture with me. And the shuffle of the smartphone camera snapping of the tourists, I've lost track of my phone.
Oh, no.
And now some tourists are trying to take a picture
Take
with you.
with me.
And kind of give you $1 or $2. The ones who know how it works.
So I all of a sudden panic because I realize we do not have the device. We do not have what it needs to be able to turn off the device.
And when you tense up, it triggers a laser, and you vaporize like a little tourist woman who is standing next to the naked cowboy.
Oh, that's not good. That's not a hero thing to do.
This is going south real fast.
Real fast.
The naked cowboy screams, "Someone call love! Things are going terrible! It's really cold."
Yeah, I think that's the scene. We leave Vicky basically like down on her hands and knees in this panda costume, looking under stuff, trying to push tourists out to the side, trying to find the phone.
Vaporizing them.
Yes. her days of trying to become a hero, she's now kind of like, fine, I'll just use the laser to get them out of my way so I can find the damn phone.
So the former Dr. Marcel Moreau, now Dr. Furry, is on all fours, funny enough, and he's picking up cell phones and trying to find the button that's going to shut off the doomsday device. And he is failing horribly. That's one Apple iPhone after another. And he's like, okay, what am I going to do? Okay. Back to the basics. What do I got to work with? Pigeons. He starts fumbling in his pockets. Lasers. Do I have any pigeon-sized lasers? All right. That's not going to work. And he starts looking around and he sees all of the other characters in Times Square. And so he starts to rally them. He's like, you over there, the Cookie Monster. We need to stop those two toothy villains up on the roof and destroy that device.
Where the hell am I going to help you?
It's all going to turn into a giant snowy winter wonderland here if we can't shut off that device.
I don't get paid nearly enough to go and try and wrestle with some strange naked dude.
Naked cowboy, will you help us?
Oh my God, what's happening? As he watches like another person get vaporized from the panda laser. He's crying. He's dropped his guitar.
Anybody.
He's soiled his underwear.
Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man, you're all heroes.
Whoa, look. You know what? One more offense and, 3 strikes. So I'm not getting into anything that'll get me into trouble. I'm a registered sex offender, said Elmo.
The women with the paint on the never mind. I don't know what you are. Sidekick, we're going to have to do this ourselves.
Okay, sir. I'm ready. What do we do?
We're going to need to scale that building and get to that device.
Luckily, I have claws.
And so I get on her back. And she starts climbing up the building towards where you guys are.
How's it gonna go?
Steel things. She's like going up the building.
And like stray lasers are just kind of shooting into the sky. How should it go? This is a wild card, so it can go well or poorly. Right. Yeah, let's say it goes badly, but you figure out how it goes badly. It's your scene.
The furries get to the top of the building where the two of you are, and you start hitting everybody with lasers while I run to the machine, and I find out...
Good God, is that a panda?
I found out that the interface has been completely replaced and is being remotely controlled by Dr. Yes.
That's scene, right? So we'll roll all our die and generate our aftermath, read our aftermaths, and that will inform our montage as we wrap our fiasco.
So I've got a positive 2, which is merciless. You might not be dead on the outside, but you sure as hell are dead on the inside. The emotional or mental wounds you have suffered will never heal. The future is a brick wall.
So I actually have a pretty crazy high roll, a white 13+. Fan-fucking-tastic. It's fat times ahead, safe and secure, that thing that would make your life better. Oh, you got it, absolutely, and then some. And then some more. Enjoy it.
I have a positive 5. White 5, miserable. You're humiliated in a big public way, and whatever reputation you had now is in dirty pieces all around you. You never think of these days without a shudder of horror at your own aggressive stupidity.
Black 7.
Pathetic. You'll suffer. Oh, dear God, you will suffer. And everyone will know of your malfeasance, your stupidity, your lack of common sense and decency. You're probably going to be locked up, too.
I'll start. In the immediate aftermath of the weather machine catastrophe, Roger Stevenson is frozen in a block of ice. Pretty much flash frozen.
Laughing as maniacally as he looks down on Times Square, Dr. Victor Duplinious 17, the Incisor, flips the switch on his laser extraction amplifier and puts his hands on his hips as it charges up and beams start shooting all over his lasers that bounce off of the ice and bounce all over the world in a network. But he's not paying close enough attention to see it crackle, spark, smoke, and charge with energy as the meters start tipping. All the meters and gauges on it tip into the red.
Victoria sees this happen to the machines. The machines are all going into the red. She runs over to the machines, trying to deactivate them because she realizes that something's going to go horribly wrong. And there's a giant spark, and she goes flying across the roof and bangs down unconscious.
Dr. Fury starts hearing a ringing coming from his right side and realizes the cell phone he was looking for earlier is in his pocket. And he picks up, and it's Dr. Yes. And Dr. Yes says, you're such a moron. You were so good at one thing. You could have really been the guy who puts lasers on animals. And you would have been the best in the world at it. But you had to go ahead and play a hero. And this is what happens when you try to play a hero. Hangs up on him.
The lasers blast all around the world. And even as Dr. Yes is gloating and laughing, his teeth start falling out, like disintegrating in his mouth. And there's a guy pulling a tractor trailer in a strongman competition, and his teeth dissolve out of his mouth, and the tractor trailer goes sliding back down the hill into a crowd of onlookers. And just around the entire globe, everyone is reduced to gums, except for the Duplinious clones. So he folds his arms, the Incisor, and says, "Who's got bite now?"
Victoria starts to come to, and she sees her brother standing there triumphant. He's obviously pulled off something, but she's trying to figure out what, and looks over to Dr. Moreau. What do we do now?
And Dr. Moreau is just lost. He's panicking. He's thinking science thoughts. He's like, Incisor, is this removing the teeth from the animals as well?
And you got in your teeth.
The ecosystem fall apart. And he's just kind of like on his knees and like banging against you as you're standing proudly at your accomplishments. So he's banging and shaking his head, and nothing that comes out of his mouth makes sense anymore. And he gets up and he starts kicking the machine, and he falls over and falls off the side of the building. But starts trying to flap his fake owl wings and lands in a dumpster. So he's not dead quite, but he's just having a horrible,
rough time of it.
Yeah.
Well, just a quick little thing, but so the Roger Stevenson, it falls off the building, gust of wind, now coated in a sheet of ice, slides all the way and plunks itself into the Hudson River and sinks to the bottom of the river. Or it's frozen within the river as the river is freezing. So it's like the river glacier consumes it, and it's just lost in a giant mass of ice.
The Incisor walks over to the device, and he sees that it's been kicked and goes, "I'm done with it anyways," and takes out a laser fluoridation gun and blasts it with gel, and it dissolves. And all the weather effects fade.
Victoria.
All the animals scream as they're dissolved.
They're just oh.
You monster.
Victoria covers her ears to the screams of the dying animals and looks up at her brother and realizes that he's the last man standing, and she has a new respect for him. Victor, I'm sorry I ever doubted you. You truly have earned the name Incisor.
I told you. Jeez, Vicky 5, you never believe me.
I do now, but you have an opening for a girl scientist?
We'll see. That sounds like an oxymoron. Welcome to my world, baby.
Not racist, but sexist.
He's a villain. He's a bad guy.
So the doctor is lying in the trash can, just pitying himself, and a cockroach starts to crawl up, and he looks down at the cockroach and notices a small laser, and the cockroach shoots him in the face. And he wonders, I wonder if that was one of mine.
Do you want me to go, Steve? And then All right. So, flash forward to I-Core. Dentures at a premium. I'm Dr. Victor Duplinious, the 17th, owner of I-Core, and we've cornered the market on dentures, but we want to make sure you get yours. Everyone needs dentures nowadays. Look at mine. Aren't they glorious? Now then, line up, and get your dentures. This screen plays over these kind of sad gray buildings where people are just lined up outside to get their false teeth. And even the heroes of love are standing in line to get their replacement teeth.
Vicky wakes up. She's in the basement of the house. Her brother didn't really want to take her on as a sidekick or even as a minion, but she's kind of happy to be home because after all, she always has her mom's meatloaf.
Cut to a small cell made of concrete with an inspirational poster with a cat hanging on a clothesline. Pans down into a gentleman lying in a prison cot with a disfigured face. And the doctor has been made the patsy of everything that went down by the Yes Corporation and is rotting away in jail as he wonders to himself, hero, minion, I've tried everything but villain.
Fast forward to the distant future, where finally Roger Stevenson thaws to find himself in a world finally free of vampires. And yet, he's the only man in the world with a natural set of teeth. And he is hunted to the ends of the world, always fearing for his precious, precious incisors.
Gray-haired Victor Duplinious, the 17th, sits in the boardroom of the upper level in his chair as in the incisor. He's not the only incisor on this board of mouth. The masters of ugliness, totally holistic, who own and run the underworld, having crushed Glove, having crushed Love, and now run things. And as he listens to them prattle on about yearly projections and bequeathing license to armed robbers for bank heists, he reflects back on the news he got at the doctor's, that all that sliding, that lump, that growth, he thinks his father, his master, wasn't quite right about them being immune to radioactivity. So with that, our story ends. We'll return again with a new tale to spin to dare to entertain. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho, and you can find me on Instagram at BORED_GHOST. That's board_ghost on Instagram. Where can people find you, Stacey?
They can find me on Instagram at Stadomo, STADOMO.
And where can they find you, Josh?
If they can find me, they've been wasting their time.
Steve, where can people find you?
I can be found on the interwebs at stephenmoverley.com.
To learn more about the players and engine in our story, visit boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have any desires we can fulfill. Also, leave reviews and comments on iTunes or your preferred listening portal, and take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. You can also see all of the videos or all of these shows on iTunes. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's page, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, or has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me, no. Dying don't agree with me.